Hello everyone, my name is Nicolaas van Wyk. I'm the CEO of SAIBA and I'm very privileged today to be presenting this quick update about SAIBA and our collaboration on Digital Beanie with you. I'm sure a lot of you have already seen many of the videos on the Digital Beanie website. The whole project actually started quite 2 or 3 years ago when I saw how the Singapore government is supporting accountants in Singapore with taking their practices online. They actually invited them to a number of workshops. They invited experts to come and present to all accountants in Singapore and assisted them on progressing on this digital journey. Because I think the first thing was obviously that people are afraid of change, afraid of this new thing called 4IR, and you have to speak with experts to guide you through the process. The second thing was, what's the role of accountants? Is 4IR and robots going to replace us? What about our trainees? What about jobs? And as I read more about digitization, about going on the cloud, about using of robots, I came to the conclusion that it's nothing of the sort. It is just a new way of doing things. It's like when we moved from horse-drawn carts to motor vehicles, there was a change in industry, but the need for transportation never changes. And likewise, the needs for accountants and their staff and their support staff and their clerks will never change. It's true that we'll have to adjust and adapt. So just like with motor vehicles, we'll move from dirt roads to tar roads, and there will be whole new industries created to build all the different parts of a motor vehicle instead of a horse-drawn cart. So that, in my mind, is how I simplified things for myself, and why then we decided, together with our partners, to start Digital Beanie, to take away the fear factor and fully embrace 4IR as the new way of working. So before I start, let me then first explain who is SAIBA, and then I'll have a brief session on what we intend to do with Digital Beanie. So we believe things are about to be different, and that has been the story of SAIBA. So let me explain to you a little bit about SAIBA and when we started and how we came to be involved in all things digital. So we view ourselves as the #1 professional body for accountants and finance executives in Africa, and I'll take you through the reasons we are saying that. So our revenue is 21 million rand. We started in 1987, quite a number of years ago. And the 80s was a very active period for the establishment of professional bodies. SAICA started in 83, SAIBA in, I think, 84, 85, and then SAIBA in 1987. So we do have a very good history within the profession. And yeah, so we started in that period. That was with the advent of the Companies Act, with the advent of the Close Corporation Act, all those different revisions and changes within the legislative landscape meant that there was a new body needed for accountants. We rebranded in 2013, and that led to this good revenue growth that we experienced. The members are now 9,500. Designation holders 5,500. We've got 4 designations, but that's expanding. We have a number of mandates within legislation to give reports as required by a Companies Act or a Close Corporation Act and the like. 21 staff members, 11 regions. We've got a footprint in 4 countries: Namibia, Tunisia, Algeria, and Tanzania, and continuously expanding. We've got licenses or for specialization, about 5 at the moment, but that's also expanding. And then we've got professional body registration with SAQA, which is the South African Qualifications Authority. That's the entity responsible, established by government, to register professional bodies and monitor their conduct, with the CIPC, SARS, Home Affairs, Department of Justice, the Pan-African Federation of Accountants, as well as the International Association for Finance Executives. So let's move on to the next slide. So a little bit about us as SAIBA. So we believe in an open access model to the accounting profession, and that has been our guiding principle on how best to serve the accounting profession. So we started doing that did a strategic revision in 2013, as I said, and realized that the profession is very exclusive, and there's some barriers to entry. But when we looked at employers, we see that employers employ a range of accountants from entry level to top level, and that there weren't really any avenue for those non-professionals, in quotation marks, to join a professional body, even though they were doing the work of being an accountant. And we put it on ourselves to professionalize the working environment of accountants of all sorts, and that is basically the model of SAIBA. So we believe in an open access model to the profession. It means that with the right exposure, support, affinity, and ability, anyone should be able to become an accountant, because anybody works within the sector from various backgrounds. So we're a movement that seeks to democratize the profession and ensure access to all accountants, irrespective of background and qualifications. And an interesting statistic I recently read was that in Europe, about 9 out of 10 CFOs do not have an accounting background. So I've recently also read that some of the big firms in the UK and Europe are also starting to move away from the classical accounting graduate to be employed within their firms, and they're starting to look for people that has critical analysis abilities, critical thinking, emotional intelligence, being creative. It doesn't really matter where they came from. They obviously then mold them and develop them to be professional accountants, and being able to conduct themselves and perform different types of work. But the entry level is busy changing. And that's why we say we are a movement. We want to recognize this process. And a lot of this has to do with technology changes, which is the theme of our presentation. So our promise is that we create opportunities. We can't do anything more than that, but we do a lot when it comes to creating opportunities. So we promise to provide members and prospective members with tools to improve their chances of making it big and provide for their families, because that's the reason a person would join the accounting profession, and that is to make a living. And we want to assist them to make the best living that they can, and that is our sole mission. So whether as a junior bookkeeper, accountant, financial manager, financial director, or accountant in practice. So this is our values, established around about 2013, that we want to act with courage in the face of opposition or challenges. We don't want anything to stop us. We believe in giving people recognition for past achievements, because there's no reason to exclude them if they are able to perform the work. We want to leave a legacy within South Africa. We believe in a strong and vibrant economy as a means to resolve many of the ills we currently see in South Africa. So we want to work with passion. We want to love what we do, and what we do must be beautiful. We believe beauty is the utmost principle in which we can align our lives to, and that must be demonstrated in what we do. So we want to have beautiful designations, beautiful means of qualifying, and we want to deliver beautiful work to our clients. So we're a non-profit company, as I said, registered in terms of the Companies Act 2008 and comply with all the requirements as presented by the Companies Act. 9,500 members, registered with SAQA and CIPC, and some of our designations have statutory reporting responsibilities in terms of a number of statutes. So members apply with us for designations at the different tiers in which they find themselves, and they want our designations because our designations are symbols of quality, commitment, ability, and trust. So employers and clients value these characteristics as symbolized within our designations. We are 60% black members, 40% female, 17% of our members are in practice, and 30% in commerce. Members and potential members are treated as individuals with unique needs, values, interests, and career goals. And that is very important for us, the uniqueness of each individual member. So we don't believe in a general or aggregated approach to resolve problems. No, not in South Africa as a country, and not within our profession, and not within SAIBA. We believe that a person, an individual, meets with another person, which is his client, and then magic happens. And we want to be involved in that process to ensure better economic growth. So we help accountants reach their career goals. So this is how we do this. We award designations, we engage with government, employers and SMEs to understand their issues and help resolve them. We have international representation with our partner IFI, which is the International Association of Finance Executives. That's the governing body for all CFOs in the world, and we're the first African member of that entity. We've established Digital Beanie with our partners. We have a range of member network groups to share ideas and developments. We provide extensive technical support to improve how members deliver their work. Members have access to legal support should they need that, which is included in their membership fees. We run the most cost-effective CPD of all professions within South Africa, and it's like an extensive range of CPD from our entity called SAIBA.academy. We issue guides and support material for members, PI insurance that covers them from a professional negligence perspective. We have partner discounts from entities like DraftWorks and a range of others. We do volunteer work extensively, especially when there's a disaster, as we recently seen, or if it's NPOs that need our assistance. And then we sign strategic alliances to enable the members to do advanced accounting work, should they not have that resources within their own firms. So we're very proud of our strategic alliances with bigger firms. So we assist accountants to run their businesses better, and we do this by developing people to become successful accountants by awarding designations that give relevance, credibility, and income potential. And that is our guiding principles. So why are we doing what we're doing? Because accounting is a means to alleviate poverty. When we rebranded in 2013, we had a hard look at the profession and saw that there's a little bit of elitism there, yet there's so many people that find a safe haven within the profession, whether they studied teaching or whether they studied HR or whether they studied philosophy. At some point, it seems to us at least, that everybody ended up or worked with or has been touched by the accounting department, whether as a bookkeeper, a junior bookkeeper, a data clerk, a financial manager, or a CFO. And we want to provide a home for all of these people, share information and support to them, and by doing that, increasing the standard within the profession. So most people become accountants by chance, and that's fine with us. We love them. Whether you are born an accountant or just looking to increase your personal income, we want to help you on your journey. So we cater for bookkeepers, trainees, clerks, accountants, financial managers, financial directors. All of them are welcome with SAIBA. And our aim is to give fulfillment to people in their accounting careers and help business grow. And that is, I think, our main goal and purpose. The world is driven by entrepreneurs, creating companies and businesses, doing transactions, enhancing their revenue, reducing their costs, so to increase profits. And from the profits, they pay their salaries, they pay taxes, and through that whole process, we get upliftment and growth. And so we don't view accountants as leaders, we view accountants as servants, which is a big difference. So the world doesn't go forward because of accountants, it goes forth because of people that start to businesses and want to be entrepreneurs, and we want to support them in doing more of that, because we see that as the way out of poverty. So part-time or full-time, employed or self-employed or unemployed, we welcome everyone that wants to become an accountant. And this then led to our pay line, join, earn, share, going from zero to hero. You first join SAIBA by becoming a member of our community. After that, you apply for one of our designations, and our designations are very specific to specific career trajectories, specific career levels, and specific risks or professional engagements required. So there's a difference amongst these designations when it comes to qualifications, experience, and the way we assess them. Because as soon as the risk increases due to a public service that the accountant might do, for example, an accounting officer, then we enhance our entry criteria. And then we share a lot of tools our members need to become great accountants. A little bit about our history. It's always important to know where you come from. So we started in 1987 as a professional accounting association to provide accountants from all walks of life. We don't just want to specialize in IFRS. It must be much wider than this. In 1990, we have obtained legal status as a body for accounting officers, and that would then also be mirrored later on in 2010 and 2013 with the whole New Companies Act that was launched, where we are now also recognized as independent review providers. So we adopted a new model in the 2013s and launched those first of our designations. In 2016, we joined IFI, the International Association of Finance Executive Institutes, and became the first African body to do so, and then registered our designations for CFOs, Certified Financial Officer SA. And in 2017, we launched new brands, the Accounting Weekly, CFO Talks, and the BNA Review as a means to share information and interview members and place a focus on what's happening within the profession. And then in 2018, SAIBA is registered with SAQA, the South African Qualifications Authority, in terms of the National Qualifications Framework Act, to be a registered professional body with SAQA. And now we're in 2021. So these are our designations, the BA, CBA, CFO, and BAP. And as you can see, there's different criteria for each, and each one focuses on a particular business level or business title that a person might achieve, where BA is for bookkeepers, CBA is for financial managers, CFO SA is for chief financial officers, and then we have the BAP, which is for accountants in practice, and those work that has to be performed in terms of a legislation. So there's accountants, officers, tax practitioners, and accountants seeking specialist licenses. Now, if we look at each designation, you can obviously see there's a different risk profile with each, where the bookkeeper, the financial manager, and the CFO work for a company and under supervision, and the company actually determines what the entry criteria for each of those levels should be. So as a professional body, we respond to what employers deem necessary and then build these designations. And on the journey, start to professionalize our designation holders. And then the BAP, which is for our accountants in practice. Now that designation is more governed by legislation, not employers, and then we follow suit by increasing the entry requirement for our BAPs. But with all of them, the entry requirement is a qualification plus experience plus an assessment gives you a designation. But that's not the end of the story. You have to now keep on updating your knowledge through CPD and then specialized when it's necessary to provide enhanced assurance engagements. Now, as I move into our digitization of the profession, you have to start with the basics. And I went back to the accounting cycle. And basically what Digital Beanie is busy doing is to enhance and more automate the processes within this value chain or within this accounting cycle. So entrepreneurs start with business ideas, which then flows into a business formation. You establish your company. Then transactions occur. Now those transactions must be journalized, they must be summarized into a trial balance and then represented in a set of financial statements. So that is a process in which digitalization now plays a role. Now from financial statements, we then prepare reports, whether they are audit reports, independent review reports, accounting officer reports, compilation reports, or factual finding reports, and we then start analyzing them. So those reports are then relevant in terms of laws and legislation that must be filed. We provide advisory services to analyze and understand how to improve business processes. After that, there's a tax filing process where we make sure that all businesses are compliant with their tax obligations and pay the relevant taxes that they need to. And then we do a compliance check on other laws and regulations that might apply, and also assist the business owner by not only keeping with the one business, but maybe expanding into other business ventures. So that is the life cycle of an accountant, of the accounting department. That is where we provide value. And the business titles or the job roles in which we assist with the accounting cycle is always necessary to just remind ourselves what that is. And this is a typical organogram of the finance department. And as you start talking about digitization, you can see it having an effect at each of those levels, whether it's at the entry level for assistant accountants, at the mid-tier level of the financial accountant, cost accountant, tax accountant, moving up to the financial manager, and then, or whether it's at the level of the CFO, overseeing all of these different functions. So you can see how important the role of the accountant is within the finance department and the different functions they perform. And you can also start plotting your digital strategy if you know your organogram and where the different roles will be affected. It looks a little bit different when we come to the accountants in practice. There we find a firm being managed by a practicing accountant and being supported at the mid-tier level with reporting specialists, tax specialists, advisory specialists, and practice managers, and they in turn being supported by the support staff. And also within this organogram, you can start to see how the flow of information can be improved, how the delivery of the services can be improved. But what won't change is the structure of this organogram. It will be enhanced with a better flow of information so that we can deliver better services to our clients. And this is then the core of our service delivery, whether it is a paper-based service delivery or a digitized service delivery. These principles never change. All of our members, all of our designation holders are governed by this diagram. It starts first with ethics, so we have to conduct our work in an ethical manner. But that is not done in isolation. There's quality management checks that has to be complied with to ensure that the service is delivered legally, in compliance with all laws and regulations, but delivering a business value. We have the typical professional engagements, audit, review, assurance, factual findings, and compilations that our accountants in practice might be involved with, and that is performed in terms of various laws and common law. So in support of that, SAIBA then gives our guides, our technical support structures, our licenses, our review of the designations, our CPD. So this is a nice summary of the environment in which the accountant operates. All right, our legislative recognition is quite extensive, and this is how various laws and regulations require that an accountant in practice is involved or issue a report, whether it's with the preparation of financial statements, compilations, limited assurance, assurance on non-financial information, commissioner of oaths, business rescue, tax returns and advice, or financial intelligence reports. These are the typical things that our members in practice perform, and that will now be enhanced with digitization. So these are the laws, these are the fundamentals. So irrespective of any digital changes, these laws will never change. They all give recognition to our members in practice, the BAPs, and require them to perform specific financial reporting engagements. And the list continues, and in all of them, SAIBA has a recognition. So this then is our brands. So how we support members. We've got saiba.org.za as the main delivery portal. We've got Accounting Weekly, giving trends and updates within the profession. SAIBA.academy, which is the learning and training division of SAIBA. And then CFOtalks.com, which is our blue chip interviews with listed large companies' CFOs, where they share their career journeys. So an advanced tool for the CFO. And this then leads me to Digital Beanie, and that is where SAIBA members embrace 4IR. So in a very short summary, our partners have made extensive videos already available on what you can find and how they assist accountants in deploying digital tools. And I think that is the important thing to remember here, that is that technology is not there to govern us. Accountants are there to deploy technology as tools within a whole arsenal of services to their clients. So whether it is your ability to prepare amazing financial statements and make sure that they comply with IFRS, or whether it is your ability to engage and talk with clients, or whether it's your ability to provide advisory services to clients. All of those will now be enhanced, and technology is a tool that we deploy in the service of our practices. And that is why we created Digital Beanie, to show you how this can happen. So in summary and conclusion, so how digital collaboration can improve workflow. First of all, it will help you work smarter and faster. We've seen the economic decline in many parts of the world. We are all afraid of depression and recession, and we see cost increase. So it's important that we deploy technology to work both smarter, in other words, coming to the conclusion faster, and delivering a faster reaction time with making lesser mistakes, because basically there isn't any cash available to support mistakes. We have to come to the conclusion much smarter and faster. It does not replace, but enhances. So there's no fear in engaging with technology or adopting a whole new digital strategy. The point is we have to adjust our function within the accounting cycle and no longer focus so much on the individual activities needed within the accounting cycle, but as project managers of the accounting cycle. So if you view yourself as a project manager, you'll be able to engage with your CFO or the CFO with the CEO, or if you're an accountant in practice, you'll be engaged to, you'll be able to go to your client and present this new solution to them. So if you know who the technology partners are, if you know how to shorten the accounting cycle, if you know how to save your clients costs, so don't wait until the client realizes this or get this information from somebody else. You have to be preemptive and enthusiastically embrace these new technologies so that you can reduce costs for the client. And in doing that, so much new opportunities will arise. And those opportunities we can't even foresee now. But as long as you are the project manager of the digitization process of all businesses that will be happening, then you will enhance your role as an accountant. So we call that the birth of the outsourced CFO. That is now the services we think that businesses will most highly appreciate. And that is if you could be a project manager accountant. In other words, you play a strategic and operational role with your clients instead of just having a compliance role where you used to just wait for the information from the client to come to you, and you would then prepare financial statements and submit tax returns. That's a very passive way, which we don't see a future for. So digitization means a very proactive response to the needs of clients and helping resolve those issues for them. So we shorten the accounting cycle, which is good for everybody. You don't have to be bogged down with just data capturing. That can be automated to a large extent, and you can enhance what you do and become a project accountant. So it gives you deeper insights for better decision making, and that means enhanced business decisions and better success because of digitization. Advanced service delivery, and lastly, we're doing the same thing. We're still accountants, but we're just doing it better. So if you want to reach us, this is our main place of contact. It's SAIBA.org.za. It's the most extensive website that I know in support of accountants. So please have a look there and browse through all the support structures we have. You can visit us at our offices at Workspaces, and that has now expanded into offices in Cape Town and into Namibia, and we're continuously expanding our reach. Or give us a call, and one of our consultants will be able to assist you. So it's been great speaking with you, and let's make SA a better place to live in for everybody, and the means of doing that is having better businesses. And how do we get to better businesses? By having accountants that embrace 4IR and enhance business service delivery. Thank you.